Hi everybody, this is Robert Butler speaking to you from the Stanley H. Durwood Film Vault at the Central Library, and I'm here to tell you that when it comes to movies, February is a big month here at the Kansas City Public Library. We're talking about films about African American experience, films from the works of Charles Dickens, and of course, Woody Allen. If you know nothing else about Charles Dickens, you know him as the author of A Christmas Carol, probably the most popular Christmas story of all time, outside of the Bible anyway. Well, Dickens wrote lots of books, and they've become great movies over the years. And that's why in February, right here in the Film Vault, every Monday at 6:30, we're offering a film based on a Dickens novel. The series is called Not Just for Christmas, and you'll find that there's some pretty wonderful stuff here. Starting out on February 6th is Nickleby. Now, this 2002 movie stars a young man named Charlie Hunnam. Perhaps you know him as Jax Teller, the motorcycle-riding ruffian on TV's Sons of Anarchy, or as it's known in our house, Hamlet on Harleys. Well, he plays a far more genteel character here, a young man making his way through the Victorian world. On February 13th, we have A Tale of Two Cities, the story of a man, jaundiced, burned out, cynical, who ends up sacrificing himself for the woman he loves. It's set in Paris and London during the French Revolution, and while you can't say it made a star of Ronald Colman because he already was a matinee idol, it proved to a lot of people that he was actually a great actor as well as a pretty face. On February 20th, we have David Copperfield. Now, usually when you talk about a movie, you talk about the director, you talk about the stars. Well, this movie had a good director, George Cukor, and it had a lot of stars, but the real star was someone you never saw on screen. That was producer David O. Selznick. He spent lots of money and lots of time on this film, and many people believe it's the greatest adaptation of a Dickens novel ever put on the screen. And then finally, on the 27th, we wrap up the series with Great Expectations, the 1946 production from the great David Lean, who would go on to do Lawrence of Arabia and The Bridge on the River Kwai. Continuing through February at 1:30 on Sundays is the Searching the Psyche Through Cinema series. This is a series where we show movies and then members of the psychoanalytic community comment on them. It's hugely popular, and this year the subject is Woody Allen, a man who knows how to wear his neuroses on his sleeve. On February 5th, we'll be showing Allen's Hannah and Her Sisters, and then on the 19th, Match Point. In honor of Black History Month, Fox 4 movie critic Sean Edwards has chosen 4 films that won Oscars, and they're all about the Black experience. On February 8th, we have Lilies of the Field, which won the Best Actor Oscar for Sidney Poitier. On February 11th, Glory, the Civil War drama, which won a Best Supporting Actor award for Denzel Washington. On the 18th, Precious, the story of a young woman whose life is coming apart. The comedian Monique won a Best Supporting Actress award for her portrayal as a really evil mother. And finally, on February 25th, Round Midnight, a wonderful story of a down-and-out American jazz man who's adopted in Paris by a Frenchman and his young daughter. Now here's some really exciting news. This month, 2 locally made films will have their world debuts at the library, specifically the Plaza branch. On February 13th, Gary Jenkins will unveil his documentary, Freedom Seekers, Stories from the Underground Railroad, a film about an era when slaves would escape from Missouri through Kansas and make the torturous trip north, all the while being chased by slave hunters. Be here for this one. And at 6:30 p.m. February 24th at the Plaza, Emil Cleaver will debut his new documentary, Freedom Now. It's the story of Freedom Inc., Kansas City's legendary Black political organization. Founded in the early 1960s and still fighting today for civil rights and for political clout for the African American community. Everyone's invited to come see these movies, whether at the Film Vault at the Central Library or at the Truman Forum at the Plaza branch. And remember, this is the library. They're always free.